to do. Bless God. All right. So, it's 𝒟𝒾𝓃𝒾𝓃𝑒. Welcome to Daily Divine Guidance. 9774. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. We have a few things to do quickly that we should have done, but we're so excited to see you. I hope you had a great weekend. We did. We relaxed and did all kinds of stuff. One moment. Hi. I'm up here washing and everything. Hi. How are you? That's it. I hope you guys had a really wonderful weekend. My little baby washer. My mini washer. Hi, everybody. Hey, is it? Oh, Lord. Remier. Hello. Hello, Glock. Yes, I'm here. I was just, listen, I've been out here since 2007, and I never seen so many people in my life, and it'd probably just be you four. Because they like to kill my life like there's not 8 billion people in here and on this universe. And I'm supposed to feel lonely. Patty children. Lord have mercy. How old are we? God sees me. That's what counts. Good morning. Welcome to Daily Divine Guidance. We're just washing clothes. Someone broke my hello everybody. Somebody broke my well, I know what happened. My phone holder. And all I got is this itty bitty table, so every time I move it, something falls off. And I had a big old desk. Somebody ran me out of my house, and I'm sure they dispersed my items like they do anybody attempting to kill. And so I don't have it. So I got this itty bitty little eating table that rumbles and fumbles, and anything on it tumbles pretty much. Now I have another little thing here. If you guys want to donate for me to get another one, it's fine. I can usually find. I found one. Oh, that in the used store. I guess my little dear, wicked-hearted little mother didn't like that. It was $5. The little holder, it's perfect. But then my nephew came and he started folding it back and forth, so it doesn't have as much grip. And I need an Allen wrench to tighten it back up, but I can't find one. And I've had all of that stuff over the years because I always lived by myself in my houses or apartments, because the men in the city or people that travel to the city were paid to target me and make me feel like love wasn't for me. Now, I don't know what psych ward group, except it was Mississippi, following people around using the CIA, the old ghetto CIA. You know, the people that had mental problems, Canada or somewhere, and they like to do experiments on people, and they thought the 3/4 slaves were the ones to target for Mississippi, and I was on that list, and someone acquired it, and not having brain cells blindly, because they're most likely from another country, innately, like people around the world sees black people or indigenous people or people with dark, pretty skin as the devil. Hello, Pedro. And so I think my name and a few others is on that list, and I mean, God gotta probably take a few people out if they ain't already gone, child, because they're ignorant. You don't do that to another human. And we talk about that over here because people really feel like you and your children are their property, and they can kill you, hurt you, use your body parts for experiments, use your skin for surgery. Crazy. And God is saying, step back, I'll do it, because that's crazy. If that was to happen to them, these people would lose their minds. If they're thinking and putting themselves in somebody else's shoes, they should be shaking in their boots at night that people are that sick in the head, that they're on Twitter and TikTok and different places like it's a meat market going, I like her complexion. I want her eyes. I want her skin. Yeah. I want her blood. You know, because you don't want to get AIDS somewhere, but we're going to keep it positive because we know there's psych ward people out here, and I'm willing to talk about it. So, good morning. This is the winning circle that we're talking about, because some of us have eternal life, and we might as well have these lessons. I don't know. What comes to mind right now? Is that my tablet? What comes to mind right now is a story. Oh, let me just say this. Men are the head, according to the... See, everything falls with it. I didn't do it. Thank you, Nino. Good morning, everybody. See, you won't even stay up. I was looking for my other tripod. Sorry that it keeps falling, guys. I don't see it. I don't know where it's at. so I can keep it up. It don't even work that well, but it works well enough because someone destroyed the components and parts of it to it. They just hate to see me on camera. They're getting used to it now that they've blocked me where only 2 to 3 people can see me on a consistent basis. Like, again, it can get up to 65 people and it'll drop down to 1 because people get kicked out. And then they'll say, oh, it's the algorithm. They ain't even hear me speak. So how do they know that they didn't want to hear me? Ain't that many prejudiced people in the world. But we're going to let it go. And then you got the coaches. Oh, it's not used the algorithm. No, it's called prejudiceness. Yeah. See, the young people don't know about that. And they think it's just, the algorithm because they slow. And they're making money, right? They're feeling privileged. They got products. You make a product, your city and state make sure they shut that down. All the businesses you've created, and real estate, and, different processes and classes, and your city and state shut it down. Then he told you don't use your own stuff, didn't they? Because they felt like you was 1/30 of a person. Then the other little counterpart with lighter skin is getting frustrated because you don't have any money to even invest in the class that they allowed them to take up and make money from. Same information you already know. You're a great magnet. You don't even fit algorithms, child. You don't fit algorithms. You're way outside the box. You're just producing like a TV show. Whoever watches, whoever wants to watch, they have that convenience. But they don't even want you on TV, do they? They don't want you on TV. They don't want what you're talking about, which is God, which gave these people everything they have. They're not smart enough to understand that. They think they are God. Using God's cotton and linen and components for computers from the earth. And then trying to use humans for the chips. Let's keep it simple. Now, for the men that don't understand, according to the book of Matthew, that you are the head under God and under, see the parable of the talents? These are parables. These people ran off and, oh, how much? Took it literal. According to the Bible, men are the head. Not to be abusive, not to be boasty and heartless and haughty and power hungry and power stricken and belligerent and whatever else. But it is to heal God's land and to keep order. Period. And people don't do that. And it doesn't mean that it's still not the Bible. But this is why you have praying women and men teaching their sons and daughters about this so that there's order. Because people are out of order right now. They're just doing anything because they're listening to people that are about the same age they are. And the older ones doesn't necessarily have the greatest motives. I'm looking at politics, and there's a bunch of older people that are bitter from the past that are teaching young people very bad stuff or using them the wrong way. Yes, you need to have a certain level of, I'll beat your butt if you cross a line, for sure. But it's on a different level of hatred that these kids get from bitterness, things that happen to them because the older people are jealous. And now they got to figure out how to heal. And that's why I stay away from people. Some people have a bad mentality, and it shows up as a political thing. And it's so mixed. It's like people just grab something. Seems like just based on history or kind of like church. My grandma was Baptist. I'm a Baptist. And it's like, can you actually think for yourself and dig into what you're actually doing and check your heart space and make sure that that is what God has for you instead of following other people? And are you doing it right if you're going to be in it? Because nowhere here does it say one person is greater than the other one and that I must fight. Because it says I will inherit the earth. So what are you fighting for? I'm confused. Freedom? Absolutely. No one has a right to put you in bondage and tell you what to do and what you cannot do like they do me. So there are men out here that are literally acting like women. I say that because growing up, I saw a lot of men whose fathers were out working hard because of society, saying that men should not be in the home. Some of these men had cases where They couldn't be in the home with the woman if they were both poor because he couldn't find work, but they'd already decided to have a family for whatever case, whatever it was. And now he can't find work, and he's out trying to look for work, or he's just out in the streets trying to make money, most times turning into crime that was so conveniently located. Jobs weren't to people that got out of jail and should have been free to get more. I mean, I'm looking at it now. There's still people that can go in because they were trying to provide for their families, using whatever resources that are out here, legal or not. And I mean, like I say, you still know your job, and you know you don't steal like they do me. So whatever's happening, they go out and they try and find something. By then, the woman has found her Section 8 or whatever. And they had a rule. I don't know if it was legal. I'm sure it was. It's not now, because that was just the old antic that women can't have men in the home. Now you can put whoever you want on there. But see, the older women, most of them probably couldn't read. So they don't encourage the younger women to read, and know it's not probably told to them. Yet you can put your husband on your papers. But then now you have the issue of a lot of women scared that they won't qualify. If you don't qualify, that's a good thing. Go find you an apartment. But then the gap between having Section 8 and having regular housing is the price. If you're paying $10 to $100 a month, maybe $200 a month, I don't know what they do, but I've heard. Then if you go outside of that, you got to pay $1,000 or $2,000. And most of these women were impoverished, probably in the system as children, so they didn't get a certain confidence to go out into the world and do things, which is their own responsibility to love themselves and teach themselves and stay away from people that have limited thoughts. But the truth is, it was hard to transfer from having that mentality that kept you in the box and then transferring over to coming out here in the real world and having the stresses of dealing with crazy people on jobs with mental problems. Like, it was just like a whole replay of the plantation. Like, when you was doing anything, somebody got to watch you all the time. And most likely they didn't like you, so they were always antagonizing you on the job. And except you was mean and ugly like them, doing very underhanded things and being a little deputy of demonic activity, you didn't get along on the job. So you found yourself not wanting to be at work. To this day, I can go on a job and there's about at least one person that is gung-ho. I don't want you here. I don't like you. I didn't show up for you. I came to do a job. But we don't want you to be our friend. I didn't come to be your friend, Pumpkin. I came to actually pay bills and do a good job while I'm here. I don't understand. When you go to church, you're not coming to see. I remember I went to this big church and I was getting ready to go stand in line because before any of this happened, I'd already had a storyline of goofballs in my life that were causing problems. So I didn't need for people outside to join the circus. But people tend to feel it's okay to do that. And from what I'm understanding, people were going to my jobs, saying things about me that will make other people see me as this clown, or as this person that wasn't capable, or this person that didn't deserve to be there, or this person that didn't belong there. Circus. So people have always felt like it was okay, and I guess I'm supposed to feel bad. And I swear before God, and I don't do that, if you're doing this to my children, you will weep sorely. I'm not even going to tell you how. Or if you've done something to them. Is that why some of you guys got this illness? Somebody hunching on dead bodies? Then cutting them up, putting them on the beach and all over the place. Different body parts. Hoping the boats, when they started up, nobody will see. A tunnel or a place where you put parts on beaches and things. But your ding messed with things. And the people you was messing with, got some issues, don't they? Because you're nasty. That's the scripture. That you would go and touch on people who treat them brutally, you and some others. And they give you the task of getting rid of the evidence. Hey, I'm not ready for that, child. Not really. But whoever story that is, it's disrespectful. And God saw you. Says this. Now, the scripture says the man is the head of the household, the woman, the children. And I had a hypocritical preacher. I'll get to the story. He said the home should be a man's paradise, a woman's sanctuary, and a child's playground or something. I don't know. Something like that. You can look it up. I'm sure somewhere. He found it somewhere. Maybe it was from church. You know, there's a bunch of hypocrites there. So the men now are more or less feminine. Now, the story that I tell is from a man that I watched grow up, same as he's watched me. And he has a lot of estrogen because his mother was in her teens when she got married. Her mother signed her to be married to a man that was probably in his 20s. That is very legal even today. In some places, I'm sure. My nail keeps shipping. So he was more mature, but he was young and haughty. He didn't have a mother growing up. And his father wasn't available emotionally. Very sexually, though. Again, a lot of people probably turn to sex in this time to cope with things that have happened. From what I'm getting, as I stated before, in the South, when people were here mining the land, creating food, there were people that came over here and watched people struggle and offered them help, but it was they were the reason why people weren't producing. Like they came over here with these big mass-producing machines that are to this day doing too much, and this is why people are probably killing people. They're using body parts for a lot of stuff to make up for the food that is not available. Because they're trying to mass produce everything, which is not God. So when it runs out that the real meat isn't there or the real whatever, we got to make it up. How do you do that? So even in computers now, they're trying to use body parts for the chips. Black people. Oh, we need melanin. I'm sure there's another way. It's been another way. Oh, God. So they would take the farmers' harvests with an S and give them $5. And these people would be hungry. And the mothers would sometimes eat dirt. I'm not going to say they didn't have mental problems. Mr. Bunchy, good morning. Brunchy. Hi. They were hungry. And all they saw was dirt. And they would eat it. And it would mess up their bowels because they didn't have food. And it would be shocking that you saw all that food that was generated over a long period of time that you sat there and watched over and knew somebody was going to come and go, oh, thanks. I'll take that. Oh, here's $5 for you and your 10 kids. And the mom's like, so she's eating dirt. The papa is probably at somebody else's house eating. Maybe bringing food back to the kids and her, but it's not enough because she wants the kids to eat, so she's eating dirt. Can't believe that they actually own land and someone comes regularly and take their stuff and say thank you. And leave them with nothing. No food. Maybe the pig pods. So this man didn't grow up with a mother. She died because of that. She had to eat dirt. She didn't have food. Not enough. Like I said, that's a lot of kids. So these kids grew up with issues. They had a father. He was absent due to hunching around, maybe trying to find food. I don't know. But he was drinking, which caused a lot of problems. But he was stressed. You have a whole land and you can't eat the food of it. Yeah, that'll make you drink. I think so. The wife dies, the mom dies, the kids are being raised by an absent drunk father that is sexually happy. So they don't have anybody. But they grow up and they think, I'm going to be stronger and better. I'm going to get out here. I'm going to hustle. And I'm going to go to the big city and I'm going to be somebody. And they come here. They do. They come to the city and they get a good job. And they marry this 16-year-old or however old she was, 14, 15, 16, 18, whatever. And again, he's young. He's cocky. He didn't have any training on what women were for or anything like that. But he knew he wanted a clean girl. And he was very disciplined, very militant. And this little girl wanted to play with her sisters. She wanted to play with baby dolls and laugh and have fun with them, although she was a church girl. They grew up in church. She wanted to have fun with her sisters, and her sisters was a little jelly-bellish. A lot jelly-bellish. They'd already get out. These were some pretty girls, like most little girls. So they're having fun. They're younger. And they're talking about boyfriends and things, and she's married. And she's looking like, I want to go to the movies with my sisters. I want to hang out with them. We go to the movies together. Why you don't want us going to the movies? Because he knew they had tendencies to talk about men. He saw his daddy. He didn't want his wife out there curious and sniffing behind their stories of being a Jezebel or having a date around. She didn't have to date around. She got a man. He was proud of that. He was a provider, a keeper, protector. Told her, if I'm not home, ain't nobody in here but you and my son. I don't want your sisters in here. I don't want your parents in here. Well, maybe your parents, but we can keep down a lot of stuff through the word of God if I know it's just you and him. Don't have nobody else in here. And he was right. If the sisters are dating and this and that, people would say, oh yeah, First Lady was had her sisters over there with their men drinking and smoking, and see things can get out of hand. And guess what? Pastor wasn't finna be fighting them big burly men because of his wife. He was not. No, he wasn't. He wasn't about to be fighting a man for his wife's honor. How about just don't have nobody in here? Worked well. She didn't like it. She didn't understand it. She was young. She wanted to play with her sisters. She wanted them to come by because she couldn't go out. He's trying to protect this lady. Because again, teenagers, as everybody know, ain't no joke. They like to have fun. They like to get into stuff. They like to have fun. And Pastor knew that a lot of the men in the community were not good fathers or providers. They were quiet, but the women was running the house. So he didn't want his wife to get no ideas about trying to tell him what to do. Kept it close. By now, he's going out. She's in the house. She finishes school or whatever, and he thinks, okay, cool. I don't know if they had children before she went and started college or something, or after she graduated college. But either way, they had a kid at some point. And again, this man doesn't necessarily know what women are for other than sex. I mean, sound like a little sister, sort of. She don't like that. I'm the big brother. I tell you what to do. I'm not being bossy, but I know better. Pride starts to set in, right? I know better. So now she's feeling lonely, like, all right, dictator, you mean well, but dang, You know, I'm only a teenager and you grown and working. I'm in the house by myself a lot. Again, she has a kid. And because she's alone a lot, this man is out preaching, doing various things. She's alone a lot. So she tends to confide in this kid. Oh, wow. Oh, I'm so lonely. Oh, he works too much. We're in the house by us. Yeah. Oh, this is hard. Jesus. Oh, Lord. Oh. We're grieving. We're so bad. Oh, Lord. So she kind of found a bit of an exciting pleasure in going to church so she could see other people, which was great because her family could come and she can wink at them. But here's the thing, because she couldn't really spend a lot of time with them, she would send her son out to be her little messenger. Oh, take this to your auntie. Oh, tell her this. Oh, that's what she told you? Oh, tell her. So not only is she whining to this child about her hardships, kid, and him getting resentment for various people she had grievances with. That's a lot of estrogen for a little boy. Now he's an adult or a teenager, and he's going to send messages back and forth and do things for them that she wanted because she couldn't do it herself. And dad is going, I shouldn't have left him alone with this one. A lot. Maybe I should have taken him with me. Because to this day, he still can't get his love life right because he's overly indulged in femininity. And I'm just going to say it. His dick life suffers. And if you ain't got a lot of money when you act like that, nobody want to be bothered with your tyranny. I'm trying to overlook this a lot because the phone is in front of it. You see it? I don't care. So, people got to go away. And if you've ruined your dingling life, acting like your mom or your aunts or your sisters a lot, and you didn't separate that from your real love life, your ding-ding life, people are going to know you as a little messy boy. And figured that you and your mom needed a room. Now, these people are still alive, so I don't want them to come jump on me because they're crazy. They got a lot of game bangers, which is probably why I'm going through some of these. This fat heifer man sat in church with a whore. I'm telling you, dick life be messed up when you're Jezebelish. So both of these kids were on their head a little bit, and they linked up. And the travesty. So they find themselves wanting to be my enemy. That's all I need, right? And I'm telling you, he got a lot of unseen thugs in his family. I ain't calling no names. Don't be schizophrenic on the internet. These are some ignorant people. They got mental problems, though. So that's why I try not to talk about people. They have legitimate mental problems that are not diagnosed. But it's clear to me, sometimes people's mindsets are very sad because of their childhood. And they think, we could take it out on her. We can hurt her and her kids. We know people in the government. They ain't going to say nothing. We government workers, doctors, nurses, cops. They don't know a cop. They sleep with a cop. I mean, if they're not a cop, they can sleep with them. And be friends because they're so friendly. Unlike me. So, whatever the case. So, men are manly. They're not manly. They don't mind attacking, orchestrating, or watching women be hurt. Very desensitized. I can say a lot about that. But they need to get their lives right. Because they will never be successful. I don't care how they get married. They're going to have to pay that shit. Because these men have such pain and disappointment in their lives. And I mean, it's horrific. They're going to have to pay us. Cause we ain't your punching bag. Most recently, I'm telling a guy about Jesus. He looked like, who does that? I'm a demon. See my horns? You can't hide them from me. He was they were encouraging him to teach me about demonology. Criminology, what? Yeah, child. Oh, and they was ready to do something. I pray they didn't do this to my babies. I was praying, Father, I don't want to be a demon dog. I don't want to be a demon dog. Please. And he praying, I don't want to be a saint. I don't want to be a saint. Well, we both were scared. It was like, he didn't want that and I didn't want that. And they gave him something and God gave me something. I was trusting in higher power, child. He trusted in man. And they probably going to jail. Penalties for breaking the law. When the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, again you shall say to the children of Israel, whoever of the children of Israel or of the strangers who dwell in Israel, who gives any of his descendants to Melech, who shall surely be put to death. He shall surely be put to death. The people of the land shall stone him with stones. I will set my face against them. Now today, no one has the right to penalize anybody for anything. Okay. People need to let God work with people. Now, if you have evidence somebody done chopped somebody's body parts up, sold them to other people, did some other stuff, and there's evidence in the ethos, I ain't telling you what to do. But if it's just something somebody said and you don't have evidence, you all got to stop jumping on people, because God is jumping on people now. God is jumping on people publicly. You will be on the news. You and all the fools that followed you because you didn't have brain cells enough to pray and ask God, should I be a part of this crime? Ding dong, it's a crime. Why are you a part of it? God knows how to get justice. He doesn't need the 3 blind mice trying to do anything. So in the scriptures, there's a book that talks about, excuse me, all of a sudden, my throat is messed up. Well, here it says, by your words you will be justified, and by your words you shall be condemned. Excuse me. There are several scriptures here that talk about, oh, I'm still going, baby. You ain't stopping me. I think it's 3 Hebrew boys. Could be Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. I think that's in the book of, I almost said Nebuchadnezzar. So is that a book? Anyway. Book of Nehemiah. Whatever the story, okay, so the part that I want to bring up is where they were like, we reckless. It just reminds me of when you have confidence in something or somebody and you know for sure what's what. They said, we're not even careful on how we respond to you, sirs. Oh, I'm the head honcho. I'm the king. You know, in this particular story, I can look for it. I should have looked at it before, but it just popped in my head and jumped on. It speaks about how, I think it's King Nebuchadnezzar was challenging them because in his kingdom, he had made a decree that anyone that's within his the sound of his voice or the horns that blow that was in his province, they were to bow down at a certain time every day to his God. And these people were like, these three here, we don't bow down to nobody but God, the Lord. And he's like, who are these three here that don't obey? And 𝒟𝒾𝓃𝒾𝓃𝑒, Meshach, that's not the runnings, but hey, us, right? And he said, excuse me, you need to bow down. And he was like, they were like, for what? We don't serve you. Ugh. And they have that right. But you know, people with the God complex, they want to be God. They're not. No, well, if you don't, then you're going to have consequences, buddies. And they was like, well, we're not even careful on how we respond to what? We don't, child. Hold on. But no, I ain't going to do that. Because this live will go off. Let's see. Brought me back. Ooh, it did it. So now I can't see the messages. Ain't that cute? That's punishment. Love these people, I tell you. Love them. All the way off. Okay, there you go. There's messages. All right, because I couldn't see them on my first. See, this is not gonna stay up here. It's gonna don't fall again. Look for my tablet. I don't see it, but I believe it was King Nebuchadnezzar because there's a song called 𝒟𝒾𝓃𝓃𝒾𝓃𝑒, 𝒟𝒾𝓃 and Abednego. Okay, so they wrote a song which I can kind of play in my head to. So the power of work. This story, again, was about these three Hebrew boys that came into this area to deliver a message, most likely from God. And at a certain time, everybody has to bow down and worship this king. I think it was Baal, as they call it, or Balaam. Is all kind of in the same spectrum, I think. But they didn't bow. They was the only three still standing. Like, okay, that's what y'all do. And he was like, if you don't, we're going to throw you in the fiery furnace. You got to worship our God. You got to bow down. And they were like, man, we're not even careful on how we respond to you. No, we don't worship no other God for form or fashion and nothing else. We're not. He was like, oh, you don't care how you say. We're not, because the God we serve is able to do all things. He's able to deliver us. Even if he doesn't, he's able. No, thank you. Throw us in the fire if you want to. And it was like, really? Well, now. So he did. He threw them in the fire, and they were reckless. But we ain't even careful on how we respond to you. Reminds me of David. Whenever the king, whenever he's getting ready for the battle, and they were staging the battle, like they're preparing. He was running and getting stuff that soldiers needed, I believe. And he overheard the Philistines, because they're giants. Oh, we got, and if we win, they'll, because they're big. They think they can win, right? And this is what the battle of Goliath. And David gets wind of it, I believe. And this is how he ended up in front of the battle with that little slingshot. Call it bow and arrow. And so he was reckless. He was back there. Oh, let me at him. Let me at him. Let me at him, I say. Let me at him. And yeah, they throw him out there. They put him out there. They was trying to get, we come to get your son. We need someone to fight in the battle. Where's that little boy? Oh, we have Levi, and we have this one, and we have that one, and oh, he's very skilled at fighting. He's been fighting for years in the wars, and we're sure he'll be great. No. And they see David. Well, all we got is David. He's right there. There he is. There he is. bring him over here. And they're like, oh, dang. Little Scrappy off here, the little shepherd boy, he ain't even got no muscles or nothing. What he gonna do? And so they let him go. They was like, well, before you go out, put this armor on and have this sword and put this helmet on. Nothing fit because he was a kid. I think he was 12. Anyway. Well, put these shoes on and make sure you have this rock in your hand and put this and it's like nothing fit. So it's like, okay, y'all want me to put what? Yeah. They was like, no, that's gonna worry about it. It just don't fit. I don't want it. So he literally just got ready. God spoke to little baby, said, let's go down by the brook, by water. Get your 5 smooth stones. Pick them out. Smooth. Mm-hmm. And he did. And he said, and he was told to get the slingshot. And he did. He put the rocks in the slingshot. And he's like, very simple. Very simple method. No guns, no weapons, no armor. No, Goliath comes. Fee, fi, fo. And David recklessly is talking. Let me at him. I wish I would. I'm going to go out there. What he said? He going to do what? Oh. And they was like, come on, bring him around. Thank you, Donna Lawrence. Bring him around. And they did. The dude got out there. And old Goliath, and all his people. Oh, God. David stood there. The thing in my eye. He pulled that sucker back. Aimed at the forehead. Goliath. Yay, David. Ooh, ah. David was reckless. And so is God's justice. God's justice sometimes is reckless. Jesus got some sympathetic for you, but not God. God said, vengeance is mine. So the word power, it says, by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. So when a person knows the power of words, like me, I guess I'm a bit reckless because people treat me like that. So I know what I go through. You know what you go through? Don't try to tell me how to tame my words. I know what's popping over in my neck of the neighborhood. Now, it becomes it behooves you to become very careful with conversation, because a person knowing word power, they know the effects. You know, I don't. I mean, I see things, but I don't be like, yeah. Or sometimes, all you have to do is watch the reaction of the words to know that the words don't return void. Now, I don't go looking for evidence most of the time. Okay, God, I know you told me to say that. I ain't have to say it that recklessly, but hey, some people don't listen. They don't listen. So you gotta kind of bring it to them. You gotta let them have it. So through spoken word, a man is continually making laws for himself. Again, you can tell so many stories about people that you've met. Like a story where a lady met a man, and he would always say to her that they missed a car. It was a certain type of car. Like me, I missed my disc truck. That's okay. I'm a little bit over it. But if I get a fully loaded brand new one this time, I'll be back in stride. Yeah. I'm so happy to see you and me back in stride. Yeah, we'd be on track, honey. Mm-hmm. So it was an invariable pull that sometimes maybe a person can feel whenever things are coming into this fruition. Or this could be where someone is looking to catch a cab or something of that nature. And maybe it always pulls away. Like say they're chasing it or they're somewhere at an event and they're trying to be, hey, taxi. And as soon as they walk up or run to it to open the door, they pull off. Kind of like in the Wiz. Okay. It says, I always miss the car. Okay. So the daughter can say, I always catch it, right? And it's sure to come just as I get there. So my daughter told me the same thing because I always tell the truth of what's going on, and I always think positive. I'm a good person, but demon activity, people that are possessed, they have tendency to just be evil. Like everything you do, it's always challenged. It fell again. Always challenged. Everything you do is always a disruption. Like they just cannot be normal. They just like havoc. They like seeing you have problems and things you have to be interrupted and inconvenienced with. They just, it's like demonic activity. And you know this. You've seen this all your life. You've seen it all your life. And so when you're telling people, they be like, if you don't speak about it, it won't happen. And it's like you were not willing this stuff. You're just telling what happens around people that have mental and social problems. You don't have to do anything to people for them to be evil. That's the one thing my pastor did teach us. You don't have to be doing things to people for them to be weird and evil. They're just ugly people. It don't matter who it is. They're just ugly. They like chaos. They like trouble. This is the truth. They like problems. They like you to have problems. They love to see you squander and be interrupted and be disturbed for no reason. They enjoy this. This brings them pleasure. They're crazy. And what do you do about it? You move, you get out the way, you try to keep your distance, and they always find a convenient way to bring you back around or to do something crazy, even when you're not even close to them. And it's like, this is a big planet, and I'm not sure why everywhere I go, these demons follow me. Your kids trying to think it's just you're cursed because that's what they wanted. They wanted you to appear to be cursed everywhere you go and everything you do. And it's really the demons in the background that God is about to whoop up if he hasn't already. So words are very powerful. And that's why I speak. And I am a bit reckless at times, most times probably a lot, if you really know me. But it's because I'm setting laws and rules, letting people know there will be consequences for your behavior. You may not see them here, but trust, they will arrive. People think, oh, yeah, I'm still here. I'm not dead. That ain't the point, baby. Look around. You can have all of the luxuries. You can have a slave owner and everything. You can have money and businesses and all that, and you're still a piece of crap. And maybe your mate doesn't know and he's blinded by the magic that you cast. I don't know. But you're a crappy piece of person, and God knows. And that's why you feel like crap, because you don't follow God's rules and laws. You do things against God. You don't stay within the guidelines of God's protection. And people think, well, I have laws but you're not God. So if I say something that you think isn't something breaking your laws, then see, that's when God got to slowly come on in and show you that you're not him. Your lives are not even anything someone should consider. Like, I look at these people that get into these groups in the communities. And these people tell them they can't go across this line, that line, that line. And they jump these kids into these gangbangs. How you going to make somebody be a part of something? Are you stupid? And then you scare these kids where they don't even tell their parents and they just go off and start doing other things. This is why these people come up missing, them and their kids. How dare you get somebody else's children involved in some reckless stuff and scare them where they can't be involved? You looked at all the little boys that were out here when they were younger, 10, 11, 12, maybe even 8, even 5. And you got the little thug kids standing outside hitting people in the chest, punching them in the face and brutalizing them, telling them they better do this or they better do that and they better not go to past this and that. And now they're telling them, meet me at 6, meet me over here, meet me over there, do this, do that. And these kids do it because they're scared. And your parents trying to figure out, what the skid wrong with this child? we're going to rebuke that spirit today. That these people that are out of control in their own minds, hearts, and spirits do not overtake your children in their existence and their righteous position in life as children made by God. And that these kids have strength, power, and prayer, even if you pass away, to be protected from these types of people that feel like it is their business, duty, and job to tell your children what to do when it's not. And that may God correct them royally for getting involved in your business and in your life and with your children. And again, I know they look like, well, we're still here. We still got all our money. We still got our jobs. We still got this, that, and the other. You ain't got nothing with your kids. Blah, 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 blah. Ooh, and we do this and we do that. And then you going to do about it. Once again, y'all didn't see those people's horns. I did. I can look at people online and see horns that people painted on them. I can see horns that actually came with people or that were put on people unfairly. Said sometimes people try to make you guilty by association. But God is fair and like that. So where you may even perish under the guise of someone else's retardation. God can't keep this stuff. Trying to manage so much in one space. Let's turn it this way. Maybe it won't fall as much. But see, somebody likes seeing all this chaos with me. And that's okay, because God likes seeing chaos in people's lives too. And what God puts out, you can't even reverse. So like, I can reverse the foolishness that these people are doing to a lot of degrees. It's not hard. You know, I've had a very good life despite the retarded people that got mental problems. And what happens is, sometimes these good kids like me, good kids, even the parents get mad. You so blessed, child. Even your mammy and papa get mad. You so blessed. Well, how come? Why? They get mad. They get mad. They can't help it. And you got to figure life out when your ugly parents get mad. Child. Oh, have mercy. Point is, they will learn this lifetime and death or something. They're going to learn. They think this is all it is: the money, the clothes, the cars, and the this and the that and the that and the this and this. That's not everything. Absolutely not. And you should not get tangled up with yokes of bondage, lifestyles, reputations, all that, because God flip it. I said people do all that great stuff here, lying, cheating, stealing, and killing, and then they think they're just gonna go and lay down, and nobody's gonna check them. Baby, you don't know what people be going through in their heads and bodies. You don't know how people die. Some people die recklessly. Like they look cute, but their insides can be tore up, their body can be tore up, their minds can be riddled with a lot of stuff. You're not wishing it, you're just saying. And even if they have great party time, they're just gonna be dancing down the hill anyway. They ain't going away. They get all the awards in the world. They tap dancing down that fire ladder. Yeah. And you and your kids, y'all coming back over and over and over. Dun, 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 dun. He keeps on blessing you. So the father told the daughter told him, I always catch a car. It's sure to come just as I get there. This occurred for years. Each had made a separate law for himself. One of failure and one of success. This is the psychology of superstition. But again, you got mentally ill people out here that are just destined to believe, even on these social media apps with their pride and ego and stinking attitudes and ugly ways and prejudices. And again, there is no particular reason why people are not getting the same views as others, if not more. It's just that they're picking who they like and don't like. And they can call it algorithm. It can recognize you because you're holding colorful cards or whatever. But you're all being transmitted over God's ethers using God's witty ideas and inventions. And people, again, they want certain people to pay out of pocket. They want certain people to act like they're slow and, you know, you need to be taught and all that. And I get that everywhere I go. So if I come on here and I'm not succeeding like others and I see the difference because I'm not special, and I say something, and then they start throwing all these people, oh, we can teach you how to work the I. I don't fit in that little box. I'm global, I'm worldwide. I'm lucid. Is that the word? So we good. God takes care of me. Do I look hungry? Do I look like I'm outdoors anytime? I don't need it. So it'd be nice to see how it works because we're curious. But a lot of us little church girls or kids, we got curious. Like when we saw demonic activity, which we've always seen, we just knew to get out the way. Some points it was like, we want to see what a bad boy is like. We want to see what the demon dolls are like, you know. So when somebody comes and present the foolishness, you be sitting there like, oh, okay. You want to be a part of it? No, but I'll look. And they like, look. So they let you watch, and then you start going, oh, no, that's a sin. She talking to us? What? We know what we do. Oh, no, that's not good. That's not going to turn it right. What is this, as the broads would say? Oh, no, you shouldn't do that. You will go to jail. Listen, somebody's under investigation. You better listen. Those are 2012, 13, 14, 15. Somebody's under investigation. I don't know what you're doing, but you need to stop making those DVDs of people. Am I on them DVDs? Is my kids on them? How many women are being recorded on these DVDs and y'all burning copies? Making a lot of money. Huh. Is that what y'all doing? So later on, I'm like, whatever. I ain't seen nothing. I mean, I see the little things floating around. I don't look at them. But sometimes you will see certain things and you be like, how they get these girls to do that? How they get these women on camera like that? What is this? Where they at? They down south? They here? How they got the cameras like this? You know, looks so professional. So everybody know about porn. It's illegal, but people still watch it. And then they say, oh, it's for educational purposes. Don't try this at home. And these dumb little boys and old men up here trying to do 8-hour sessions, 3-hour sessions. Baby, God's will is that little thing you got down there, where the spinal fluid comes down your neck and down your spine to your little part. That was to create little use for God's purposes, not because you've been a piggish little pleasure-pleasing pig. And so you got all these kids out here ready to shoot them up, get them a gun. They mad because they don't know about love. Wonder why the city is cursed. And kids are running around like, I ain't never had no love. I ain't never had no home. It ain't enough for me to shoot somebody up. What's love? I got a lot of hate. I hated the way I was raised. I hated the people I was around. I didn't like the way I was living. I didn't like the things that happened to me. What a love at? Give me a gun. Pretty much. So they made their own laws for themselves. But making kids or using those body parts recklessly, you have a lot of kids out here that nobody tends to because it was just a night, maybe a couple years. 2-3 kids came up and nobody cared. Now, I gave my kids real love. I let them be individuals. And they swear to God, I was doing something else. And it's between them and God. And the people that were trying to persuade their songs to be the way they wanted it to sound. But I understand before destruction, a man's heart is haughty. But humility comes before honor. That's Proverbs 18:12. I go for kids too. Proverbs 16:18. Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before fall. I don't know how God let me find those two, but it made sense to me because everybody likes honor, including men. So don't be walking around acting haughty and being cocky with women and treating women like objects and popping kids here and there or being mean because you want to avoid popping kids out here. God wanted you to procreate with one good woman that he assigned you. Now, if you decide you want to go 1 or 3 or 5, that's your business. But just randomly throwing kids around or throwing them in a sink or the toilet or down somebody's body, throat or something, you're sick. throwing body parts and abortion parts, all of y'all, just do what God said. All that destruction. And then it comes out in the community, what you're doing, aborting all the kids, or killing them because you didn't want them, sacrificing them, as they say, or whatever, selling them to the undercover organizations that think body parts are commodities. Destruction is coming to these people. God didn't say be destroying other people. They're acting like you deserve honor because you're being a mean troll and treating women and kids like objects. Women too. So they feeling real proud of themselves, wanting honor for being a demon. Ooh, Lord. So some people want what you're doing to look like you're not blessed. They want you to appear as if you're some curse and everybody needs to leave you or their life's going to fall apart. You going to hell, by the way. Gasoline drops. We'll be back, me and my kids. Oh, bend over. Don't worry about it. You won't need to see it. And then you can do about it. So the horseshoe or rabbit's foot contains no power, but people give it power probably. But man's spoken word and belief that it will bring him good luck creates expectancy in the subconscious mind. So we got to really be careful how we perceive things, because it attracts a lucky situation, because that's what they believe. So some people may find it that it will not work when man has advanced spirituality and knows a higher law. No one can turn back and must put away graven images. The Bible tells you that. For example, if there are two men in the same room or a class that had really good success in whatever they do, whatever they chose to follow for a long time, just say a little bit under a year, but suddenly everything goes crazy. I mean, you'll try and analyze it and try and figure out something, and you may even find that instead of making affirmations and looking to God for success and prosperity, they had each bought a lucky monkey or a lucky cat or ring or something, and say, "Oh, I see you have been trusting in that ring that you wear all the time instead of God." So it says, put away all of the things and stuff, or they may even tell this person, put away that lucky ring and call on the laws of forgiveness. For man has power to forgive or neutralize his mistakes. So again, sorcery, superstitions, things of that nature. God does not like that. He wants you to trust solely in him, not in a person. Although the person can bring you, like even in relationships with men and women, God absolutely put the woman in the man's life that he chooses for him, or if a man chooses, it's because he's in God's alignment that he says, I found her. Absolutely. And it's still God-led, but man initiates. I found her. This is the one for me. And you pursue that perfect love casts out fear. Without fear. A lot of people have fear. You know, they rely on their mom as a lucky charm or a guide. They rely on their family as a guide. They rely on that's why their dig life is crazy. Being honest, their personal life is probably jacked up because people dictate to a man that's a leader who they should and should not have in their lives. Now, some men are reckless. Get that. But if God is leading you, your love is so perfected that you're not letting others insert this fear in you that, oh, she's not the same race, or she's not this type of person. She's not that. So no, don't do that. And you know your personal sexual life is saying, but that's the one. That's the one. It's not just about sex, but it's the opposite sex. Oh, that's the one that I believe God has for me. So why are you allowing people's fears to make you doubt your faith? The assurance of things hoped for, the convictions of things not seen. You wanted a good woman. You wanted a woman that had a certain mindset that said she's independently thinking. You wanted someone that was hardworking and someone that was supportive and could really rock your sex life, okay? And you let all of society and others just rush in and go, oh no, society says, and that'll ruin your brand. And oh no, oh no. The thing is, the assurance of things hoped for. This is what you hoped for. These are the convictions of things that you hadn't seen before, and now God puts it before you, and you go, well, my mother did say it, and my dad did mention, and my sister, and society. And you don't even see the attacks that people are bringing to this woman. In some cases, some men do know the attacks that women go through before that man says, I want to say I do to you. Some of these men know that women are in the background of other women's lives, causing all kinds of problems for them and their children. They don't allow it to happen, but they don't push forward and say, I'll protect you. That shouldn't have happened. No, they're sitting back like a girl watching, most likely being catty. And this is why they're not fruitful. This is why they don't have love. They don't have joy. And again, your mom cannot satisfy your ding-ding life. Your dad cannot satisfy your sex life, your love life that God has created for you through faith and conviction. And this is how people miss their blessings. The people that people hug on and chase after, these are not the people God wants to fulfill your life. And no, you're not talking negatively about the relationships that you have, but it's like they need to have boundaries where you are clearly the man here. Okay? It is hard to be a man when you're being led by a bunch of other people, where they can tell you what you can and cannot do. That is not true freedom that God has given you. That is not a sovereign freedom. And how do you find love in that type of situation? A lot of people don't even know what that is. How can you find joy when someone's telling you who you can and cannot be with, or who you can and cannot like? How can you find peace and faith when you're not willing to stand up and say, I'm going to cast out all my fears and I'm going to find faith in my love? I mean, you only live once. How do you find love, long suffering, and gentleness, and goodness, and meekness, and temperance, which there are no laws against, although people try to use them against you? And again, that's where God's charity, which is set up to help and support those in need of anything. Voluntary giving of help from God, typically in the form of money, to those in need of charity, which is love, which is God. There's a lot of people out here that are suffering silently, and they need charity. And again, these men can't even help people that they should be, because there's somebody in the background going, that's just for me. I just want to be the only one. And that's why their ding-ding life is so up. They're going to have to do some contracts and some agreements, because don't nobody want to play third wheel to nobody's business, kids, or nothing. Okay? Don't nobody want to be a third wheel to anything. When you say need help, we all need help. I promise you, some of these people need sexual help, mental help, because people are telling them what they can and cannot do. And they're scared. They're scared. And it's not in a place of godly prudence, like the quality of being prudent or cautious, like not being reckless. It's just more or less they're scared of people. They don't want to lose the greed. They don't want to lose their position. They don't want to lose the recognition of people and the support. It scares them because they don't have faith. The assurance of things hoped for, convictions of things not seen. That's what it is. That's what it is. But I'm reckless with it. Pray for me, cause. So they decide to throw away this ring that's so lucky, or this person is always in their face and ear talking and doing things that seem so lucky for them. Throw it down the coal hole, whatever. Get rid of it. It all goes back to going well. This does not mean, however, that one should throw away everything that represents luck. Again, it's not necessarily the object, it's more or less the codependency on it. God wants to show us. And again, when God is switching you from systems, like if you're dependent on people and what they think and what they feel because of some connection you have to them, it's like, yes, when you first disconnect from that, it will feel dry because those people are leaving. It's like a surgery. You're getting all of those opinions and all those, their facts and how they feel and all that off of you. So yes, it's going to feel a void. It's going to feel like a void. Don't die. It's okay. Temporary. Because what happens is the people that are supposed to flood in and now not necessarily suck on you and tell you what to do, but the people that are supposed to be a part of your real life, apart from all of that, or just sometimes you need to refresh the circle. Jesus. It fills that void with joy, hope, and happiness. Because you got the people on you that feel like you better do what I said. Go this way. No, go that way. Okay. Well, okay, let's go this way. It's like, how about all y'all get off me? And let me just sit by myself. Like I said, even dating in politics. Lord, why we got to be married every 4 years? Sometimes you just need a break. I disconnected. And I have a choice to do that. I'm like, Jesus. I ain't been married in all this time. And now I see somebody that's fascinated and I want to connect. And I jump. And what that lasts? A year? 6 months to a year? I was like, I'm good. I did. I'm good. We cool. And I took another hiatus. And who mad? I don't care. Hiatus, whatever the word is. And I ain't got to date everybody because y'all said I need to date these people. I ain't got nothing against them. I don't want nothing on me. I just want to be free. I want to go in the direction I want to go. If I want to hook up with a few other people and hang out and do something different, okay. So I dropped off a lot of weight. People, no, go over here and do this. And this is how we finna go. And this is what we finna do. And how about you get off me and you get off me. And I'm just going to sit here and do what I want to do. Scratch my butt, pick my nose, whatever. I don't want to put on no heels. I don't want to put on no makeup. I don't want to put on a wig. I want to wear my doohickey all day. I don't want to be glued out and butt messed up. Leave me alone. I don't use my butt. I'm just saying. So we grown, right? I don't want to arch my eyebrows. I don't do that. I used to, and they look like little shaved hairs. So just leave them alone. Just get your pencil. Shut up and draw over them. Because if you try and pluck them, you look like you crazy. Just draw over them, child. You ain't got to pluck them. Y'all can still see them. I don't care. It's still right there. I'm not going to cut them. I'm not going to shave them. Because when I don't wear it, it's going to show up anyway. I don't care. I like my natural face. I know it ain't neat. And I don't grow hair nowhere on my body. I mean, my head and my lashes, but legs, underarms, arms, not really. It's not enough for me to have to shave ever. I never had to shave. I don't understand. I never had to shave. I don't care. I never had to shave. I wasn't a hairy kid. I don't know. I don't care what you call it. You call it apricots. I don't know. I don't care. It's not there. I'm cool with that. I ain't got to shave. I can wear skirts when I want. I ain't got to shave my underarms or nothing. And I was wondering why when I was young I didn't raise my arms because we were ladies. What I'm raising my arms for? What I'm doing all this for? What I wasn't. And that ain't no disdain to nobody else. Is that the word? I don't care. So sometimes you need to get people off of you. You need to let them know. Listen, I'm thinking for myself. Now you can talk what you want to talk, but we good. So I'm constantly okay without people being around me, trying to tell me what to do, trying to make me scared. And I promise you're going to pay for the young people that you have made afraid and sick. You nut job nurses out here and these people that call themselves doctors and these people that work in these hospitals as phlebotomists and stuff that's been playing these games with people's blood work because rich folks on went and wrecked their lives. Now they want to check somebody else's lives. We're not doing that anymore. Thus said the Lord. Y'all finna get some attention. I don't think you're going to like it. I ain't do it. Stop playing with people's lives. You're supposed to be a hero. Why you acting like a zero? Oh, that's why my number's a zero, because you won. Oh, I know it's been an hour. Wow. So, people can be with friends one day who was just deep in despair. And then crossing the street, this lady or whoever picked up a lucky object, rabbit's foot, horseshoe, whatever. And immediately she was filled with joy and hope and said, God had sent her a lucky rabbit's foot in order to keep her up and encouraged. Okay. So it was indeed, maybe at that moment, about the only thing that would have registered in this person's mind. And for her, the hope that came made her have faith. And she ultimately made a wonderful demonstration, a confession most likely, that she wants to make the point clear that the men previously mentioned were depending on monkeys alone, which is while this woman recognized the power for her coming back with the horseshoe or a lucky rabbit's foot, whatever. So you may know in this case, or whoever's doing this in their own case, looking at the situation, it took a long while for this one to get out of a belief that a certain thing brought disappointment. If the thing happened, disappointment inevitably or invariably did follow. So the observer can find, or did find, that the only way that they could make a change was subconsciously, which is by asserting there are not two powers, there is only one power, God. Therefore, there are no disappointments. And this thing means a happy surprise. So this lady also noticed that a change had happened all at once. It was a happy surprise, commenced coming her way. So she also tells of a friend that she had who said nothing could induce her to walk under a ladder. Now, I remember this story. And so she told the lady, if you're afraid, you're going to always be giving into this belief in two powers, good and evil, instead of one, as God being the absolute. There can be no opposing power unless a man makes the false of evil for himself. So again, we go through life and we have all these scenarios that are around us, all these opportunities or all these situations or all these observances, all these people, whatever it is. And we give so much of this stuff power, or however it looks, whether we're drinking, those type of women are bad, or those types of people, went black people, and it's like, well, how many evils are there in the world? There could be many, but wow. So how about let's just make God the one power? So as long as we're trusting him, everything is sovereign. And if there's anything evil, we're going to put it before the absolute power, which is God, and render it to him to allow him to correct it, if that is what's needed. And we're what? Standing back. And we're letting him be the absolute. God is the absolute. So there's no opposing power unless we choose to make the false of evil for ourselves. So to show that there's belief in the only one power, which is God, and that there is no power or reality in evil, she instructed this lady to walk under that ladder. She did. Next time you see one, just do it. Soon after, she went to her bank. She wished to open her box in the safe deposit vault, and there stood a ladder on that pathway. And it was impossible for her to reach the box without passing under that. She qualified. She quailed. She was really scared. Okay, and she was like, oh, and she left. She was like, I'm not. She couldn't face that big fear. This big old ladder, just oh God, I can't walk under the ladder. And remember, some people do have these strong superstitions. I know people that will see a broom, get that broom away from me. And it's like, okay. All right. So however, When she reached the street, this lady remembered the lady's words in her head and said, she's going to decide to go back, and she's going to walk under it. She told herself, she decided, okay, I'm going to go back. I remember what she said. Okay, let me try it. So this was a big moment for her with this big fear. And this was necessary. It was something as simple as going to the bank and having to see a ladder and go, oh, I'll wait. That's big. It's not like a spider or a snake. These are things that are not normal. I mean, a spider can be, but it's still an intruder. A ladder is literally a part of function. It's a functional object, a tool, right? And it was at the bank. It wasn't like a spider or a lion or a snake. It was something that's inanimate object, Jesus. So she went back. And again, it was a big moment because this ladder held her in bondage. The idea of ladders for years. So I'm not going to say I haven't had fears like that or just concerns about things because, again, somebody, the psych ward level, I don't care if this is an agency, the CIA, FBI, I would say CIA because they're known for being weird. Again, these were people of different nationalities that came from other countries that were just dunce hat wearers. They're troublemakers, some of them. And they have these experiments that they do on people unnecessarily, this biological attacks. And why doesn't the government stop this stuff? Do they not know that these people are harming people? That's right, you 1/3 or 3/5 of a person in these mentally ill people's minds, right? So why is this chaos still available? And I'm going to say, if you're from Mississippi, they did have slave lists. They still exist. People know about it. They've updated it. You can probably put it into a system because they're psych ward patients. So if someone obtained this place and they were like, go through the files, blah, blah, and they see this and they go, oh, and your name is on that list because from when you were born, although it stopped in the 1865s, there's people with mental problems that still got these lists going. And they figure, oh, if we need experiments of body parts for chips and things of that nature, oh, here's a whole list of people we can use. They're still slaves. They're still on the list. So we can just use them, right? So these people don't even know you. They don't care. They don't have any heart for you. They don't know you. They don't know your struggles. They don't know your children. They don't know your goals. They just absent-mindedly go out and pursue you as if you're an object or an animal because they're stupid. And God will, in this lifetime, show you how he handled them. You will see it if you haven't already. So these people are running around chasing people, their kids, just being weird, hurting their husbands. The husbands may even be a part of it. We'll pay you, stupid, $500 to help you relocate if you just go and cause this lady and her children havoc. Just cause havoc because we set you up to have kids with her. And her stupid family was a part of it because they scared too. They stupid. So no one has faith. So we're just going to attack this lady. We just need you to go and get her pregnant. We're going to watch these kids for a couple years because she's supposed to have been dead. But since she got offspring, we're going to let the bitch a certain point. We're going to take her out. And how much more? Does that sound American? Oh, you're not human, right? Well, God says over his dead body. And he already died and came again and will be back using Jesus. So the people that are feeling like you're not important and that they can do what they want to do to you. So you need to be afraid of everything because they're creating situations in your lives where you will see things and objects and situations as taboo and be fearful to pass or under ladders and live your life freely. And that you will have fear and turn away and turn back and don't go to work and don't feel safe outside and you're scared to go outside and you're scared to talk to your mother and your family and your friends and everybody's mean to you and now you're feeling cast down and casted out and all that. Anyway, God says, I'm going to remove their ladder. They're not going to be able to go up or down. They're going to be stuck like Chuck. Some of them. So anyway, she goes back in. Hearing this lady say, you free. Don't worry about it. Don't make it evil. Go do your business, lady. Go do your business. You want to open a P.O. box? Open a P.O. box. You want to open a safety deposit box? Go open a safe deposit box. So she sees the ladder. Her steps towards the vault, and the ladder was no longer there. This so often happens. If one is willing to do a thing he is afraid to do, he does not have to. But the law of non-resistance, which is so little understood, is very powerful. Someone has even mentioned that courage contains genius and magic. Face a situation fearlessly, and there is no situation to face. It falls away of its own weight. What have I seen in my life that I thought was so gigantic that I was like, oh, H no. All right, so 2015, I buy another Lexus. The first one was 2012 or 14, whichever. 2015, I have an accident, or 14, whichever. Going down Lake Street towards South Side, I guess. Going south. Something. I just went down Grand for some reason. I don't know if it was GPS or what, but it said go down Grand. Nice little Lexus truck. Mine, my business. That's what I like. And I mention it because I want to mention it because that's what I want to mention. And somehow, when I go down the ramp and get ready to cross traffic or make a turn towards the expressway, this Buick comes out of nowhere and slams into me. A lot of things was baffling about that, but for a long time, I wasn't scared to go down Grand again, but it was like, that's crazy. That wasn't even supposed to happen. So going down Grand, off the ramp on Lakeshore Drive, it seemed like a big giant place. But then when I went down years later and looked around just to look at the place where the car ended up and the intersection, it wasn't even the same. I'm like, was it staged? Is it me? Everything looked small, but it was giant that day. I mean, it was like giant buildings and a giant fire hydrant and a giant sidewalk, and it was a wide road. And I go back and it's like, it's an itty bitty intersection, it's an itty bitty sidewalk with an itty bitty hydrant, and the building right there looked like a co-way on the west side. It looked so my mind. Ooh, gee. I looked, I said, this is not what I remember. I was confused. I'm like, this is not the same intersection. And people did take pictures. My car was not necessarily totaled. But again, by the time the tow truck, they whipped me to the hospital because my neck had gotten jacked up. They whipped me to the hospital. And when I go to look at the car again, the car is smashed up. So either people were mad and wanted the car destroyed, and that's why they got it jacked up so I wouldn't get it again. The people that orchestrated the accident, and I was hoping I died, I'm sure. Since I didn't, let's just take the car. Now, why is it your business that I'm driving a Lexus? See, that's some little kerfuffle agents. I'm trying to tell you. They really feel like I'm not supposed to drive that Lexus truck, but I promise you God is about to lay them down one way or the other. And we're going to have a brand new, fully loaded. And ain't nothing nobody going to be able to do about it. And there's a few other things God is doing. And these little dunce hat wearers ain't going to be able to do nothing about it because they're going to be what? Stuck like Chuck. So, baby, if you have to slide the ladder out the way, it ain't even there no more. Falls away of its own weight. So there could be people in people's lives that are acting like the big bad wolf. Baby, let that wolf, woo, whatever it does, keep on going. Keep going. Or stay out the woods. The explanation is that fear attracted the ladder on the woman's pathway and fearlessness removed it. Thus, the invisible forces that are ever working for man, who is always pulling the strings himself, though he does not know it, Giving ownership to the vibratory power of our words or the word of God. Whatever man voices, he begins to attract. People who continually speak of disease invariably attract it. And that's what people keep trying to tell me. Stop talking about these dust hat wearers. Stop talking about these people with mental illness. But there comes a time where you need to speak up about people that have problems like that. You just do it. Because they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. She want to do what? She want to do what? So, whatever the case. Jam, come on now. Is it on? So, there's a lot more here. Maybe we'll pick it up as a part 2. Let's see. Yeah. So when you start to know the truth, by the way, you cannot be too careful with your words. For example, if you have a friend who often says on the phone, "Oh yeah, that's fine, come see me. We'll have a good old fashioned chat. However we used to do whatever we do to mix it up. Let's do that." That's the sun over there shining over here. Praise God on the wood. So maybe it's good for lighting. Let's keep this going. Okay, I don't have the other light on. So there's an old fashioned chat. Like say it's an old friend that you know and they just want to come chat and you're like, what? And it generally it means for a certain period of time. You know what it means. You know what it is, and what it's about, what it consists of. So there's going to be in this chat, about 500 to 1,000 or more destructive words, which is the principal topic of being lost, lack, failure, and sickness. And a lot of us have people in our lives that's what they know. And this is why my kids are like, we got to stop talking to you. Because I'm always talking about the psych ward patients that play games, which could be playing games with my kids now. I'm always telling people that there is some people that like to see people in lack, people in loss, and failure and sickness. They crazy. And they would tell me, no, we don't want to talk to you. We got to stay away from you. But this is the thing. They're going to now do it to them, I'm sure. They tried it. And God was like, now I'm taking real action. Because you have no right to mess with my baby dolls. Oh, no, we're not doing that. Right? You think you real tough playing with these. So you can even reply and say, no, thank you. I've had enough old-fashioned chats in my life. They're too expensive. But you can also just be glad to have an old-fashioned chat and talk about what you want to talk about and not what you don't want. Okay? Talk about what you really want. You got to hold a conversation with people about that old, sick model of thinking. I don't like it either. But it's a reality that some people actually cause people to have loss, lack, slack, and whatever else. And you talk about it. There is an old saying that some people can use where you can use your words for 3 purposes: heal, bless, and prosper. Now, again, that's not our reality. There's a lot of bad things that are happening and someone needs to tell it. And that's what people are doing now. So it's great that you have the people that know how to heal. So we know the balance. We know the balance. We know that there's good and bad. There's light and dark. There's evil and there's good. We know. So we know that when we're talking about the actions or reactions of others that are negative and of loss and lack and slack, we know we can also bring the healing, the blessing, and the prosperity. Yes. So what man says of others will be said of him. And what he wishes for others, he is wishing for himself. And we know that. That's why you treat people the way you want to be treated. So curses, like chickens, come home to roost. So if someone is wishing someone bad luck, he is sure to attract that bad luck himself. Keep telling people, I don't wish bad on people. I know that whatever you're doing is going to get some bad luck. Only get bad stuff. If he wishes to help others succeed, he is wishing success on himself. There are some people out here right now. They have the power to change people's lives. and they're being really nasty and ugly, and that's fine because they want their lives to change. There are people out here seeking very big recognition, and they're not going to get it until they actually help people, and they don't do that. They're thinking help is giving people a bill, which is fine. People don't want to do that. There's people that actually need a bill paid. Oh no, I don't want to do it on that level. All right. But life ain't gonna change until they do it on their level. So that hey, we all got things we want to do out here. So the body may be renewed and transformed through the spoken word of God and clear vision, and disease be completely wiped out of the consciousness. The metaphysician knows that all disease has a mental correspondence. In other words, it's the kind of the way you think or live or the way you believe. If you believe right, you behave right. That's it. And if you behave right, that'll make you healthy and wealthy. Okay. But again, you got sick ward patients out here that are playing games with people's lives. So you can be as healthy as you want, and you can be as wealthy as you want, but you probably will never see it because the psych ward patients are going, well, you're only 1/3 of a person. You can't be better than me. So I'm going to block all of your prosperity as long as you live because I'm a demon and God will have to handle me because I don't believe in God. Congratulations. You got God's attention. So in order to heal the body, one must first heal the soul. The soul or the spirit is the subconscious mind, which is God speaking into your mind, and it must be saved from wrong thinking. Didn't I just say that? Okay. So in the third person, or in the 23rd division in the book of Psalms, it says, He restored my soul, my mental capacity to be righteous. This means the righteous mind, or the subconscious mind, or soul, or spirit must be restored with righteous ideas and the mystical marriage, which is of the soul and spirit. I talk about that. When you can get your mind to line up with your body and then your body to line up with your reality, in other words, when you start to learn about the Word of God and you start to apply it in your real life and you start to eat those foods that are conducive to the miracles that you need, and because you have the energy and the strength that you need, which is why they be effing up y'all food supply, they just ignorant. It don't matter who it is. If you connect the way you think with the way you live and the things that you do and the energy you find in the foods that you eat because of the frequencies or the spiritual parts of it, and not necessarily because you're vegan, but because you're eating on such a level that your mind and your spirit is being receptive to all of those things, plus the way you live, you're a threat to people, child, because they're ignorant. They have the same power and the same abilities and probably more money to produce things. And we're not talking about cars and houses and all that. That's great. We could need some of that, okay? But it's more or less a spiritual thing. Because our spirits are what's going to carry on. The cars aren't going with us. The money ain't going with us. It's not. The clothes not going with us. The diamonds. Baby, I'm going to tell y'all right now. Y'all doing all of that. As soon as some of y'all die, them people going to throw that junk in the garbage. So live your best life. If you like it, love it. Because if don't nobody else celebrate it, yeah, do what you feel is greatest, because people don't always appreciate what we do. God does, but that don't mean they will. I'm just saying. Okay, we're getting a lot of messages here that I haven't been looking at because they're not that loud. But we'll get to them. Now, but when you start to marry these things, like you were like me, the reason why people are keeping me down, because anybody can start to think right or know how to perceive things the way God created it, and then eat the right foods, and then teach your children the same, and then protect yourself from crazy people and crazy events. Because again, you got psych ward patients out here that think it's funny to put poison in your food because you figured out food is your wealth. When you have good health, You can do anything. You can think up anything. God can really speak to you. Now, that doesn't, bad health or whatever doesn't stop God from speaking to you. God can speak to you through the trees, lights, your eyelashes, your hair, anything. Anything. Okay? Other people that's crazy. Pay attention. I know that sometimes people make you mad. You can't hear what they're saying. Have temperance. Learn to balance yourself, even when people are offending you. Don't drown them out, because something they're saying is the key to your future. Something they're doing is the answer to a problem. That's why they're coming at you. Or the reason why they're doing it could be because you're tapping into something that is for you. Like your freedom. When I'm talking, you see how they block all the people? Doesn't bother me. God hears me. My angels hear me, and people that need to hear me will. This lifetime, next lifetime. It's okay. It's really okay. But when you line those things up, you are a good powerhouse for God. Again, that's not the only prerequisites. You can go to heaven sick. You can go to heaven crazy. You can go to heaven broke, homeless, hungry, no clothes, no food, no family. God is still in control. Okay. But I don't believe in this season God is leaving us out like that. Your enemies will see you rise far beyond them. If they want to be your enemy, God gonna make sure they feel your pressure while you rise like a rocket. You got to kiss nobody's butt or nothing. People wanted to make you their slave. God said, you mine. How you gonna make somebody? So they must be one. You got to get all this stuff in alignment. When the subconscious or the spiritual mind is flooded with perfect ideas of superconscious, God and man are one. See? I and the Father are one. That is, he is one with the realm of perfect ideas. He is the man God made in his likeness and image in our imagination, which does materialize, and is given power and dominion over all created things, his mind, body, and affairs. Now, again, for the sick-minded people that feel like you have dominion over another human, if it's not your children, and you don't even have rule over them, you should just really instruct them and protect them and teach them about God. That's all our job is. Teach them about God. Teach them to honor, respect, and obey, and find other people like that and teach other people. Like, hey, God is good to me. You ain't got to be no preacher. You don't need no title. You are of God. You are a small God with a small G. So you telling people God is good enough. I mean, you can do more, but don't everybody want to go that deep. And that's between them and God, right? But you simply just need to tell others about the goodness of God. So your imagination is given power and dominion over all created things, his mind, body, and affairs. So it is safe to say that all sickness and unhappiness come from the violation of the law of love, which is God. God is love. And a new commandment was written in the Bible that says he gave it to us, that love one another as I've loved you. And in the winning circle, love or goodwill takes every trick. For example, just say I know a woman, okay? Known her for years, and her appearance was that of a terrible skin disease. The doctors told her it was incurable and that this lady would be in despair. She was on the stage. She was fearful that she would soon have to give up her profession. Maybe she was a newscaster. I don't know. And she had no other means of support. She, however, procured a good engagement. And on the opening night, made a great smash of it. She did a good job. Excuse me. She received flattering notices from all kinds of people, and it was joyous and elated. Excuse me. The next day, she received a notice of dismissal. Now, why am I belching? Did I eat anything today? What is this? Is that from last night? Are you serious? Oh, I did eat good. Shoot, child. What did I eat? I woke up and made, I had a little nasty yogurt. Anyway, had a nice pizza yesterday. So she received flattering notices from critics. However, someone dismissed her from this place. And a man in the cast had been jealous of her and had caused her to be sent away. Wow. So he broke his junk. She's doing good and he's mad. So he's sitting there, got her fired. So she felt hatred for this man, and resentment. Taking complete possession of her. Oh, I hate him. I finally got the skin condition and I found success, and this fool gets me fired. Okay. Oh, that's how he feels. So she cried out, oh, God, don't let me hate that man. How dare he, right? So that night she worked for hours in the silence. And she said, I soon became into a deep silence. I seemed to be at peace with myself, with the man, and with the whole world. I continued this for 2 following nights, and on the 3rd day I found it was healing. I was healed completely of my skin disease. So this is how I stay healed, guys. It's about, oh, she look young. Maybe some of y'all saying that. Oh, she don't age. Oh, this, that, and the other. And I'm sure there's more to it. Thank you, Father God in heaven. Because people want me to grow old and ugly and lonely. And I think God is holding back the hands of time just to irritate these people. God is funny. Leave people alone. You're not God. And that's why some of y'all look old and dusty. Because you hold anger. You hold resentment. I know several people in my life that I've met. They hold resentment. Now, I'm not saying people don't make me mad and I want to snap off and cuss them out and I don't keep a guard up. And that's a little bit why some of this comes and goes. I can't even get rid of it, but I can. You can see it hanging. It's just extra skin. Because people make me fat. My body heals naturally if people aren't experimenting. I don't care about that CIA thing. I don't care about calling them. Because it's true. They've been playing with people's lives. Talking about you a threat. Making up stuff so they can mess with you. On paper. I got a feeling a lot of these companies are going to go away. Because they're old and outdated and they're still doing slave mentality stuff to people, humans. No matter the race. But I know they had a fetish with Mississippi Jesus. If they got the slave list, I was probably on it from the 70s because people had mental problems. And they figure, oh, we can use them as experiments. Oh, they got offspring. Oh, that's even better. No. God said, you're next. Keep it up. Now, what you've been doing to others, society, the angels, and God are going to make sure it's done to you. Stop playing with people's lives. Not just this person and her kids, but all lives. Keep going. Don't say whatever you're doing to others ain't going to come to you. Now, healing comes from when you understand that you have to sit sometimes to yourself and just say, oh, God, don't let me hate that man. I'm trying to tell you, people be doing stuff. And you know you should be on the other side of history. You know you should be found in the history books as a vigilante. You know you need to be a cowboy and an Indian outside. You know you need to be a Rambo. You know you need to be Rambisha, man. You know you need to be out there shooting up somebody's town. You know it. You know what they be doing to you and your kids. You know. But God said, I'll do you one better. Sit in silence, mind your business. Let them look at you. Because I'm looking at them. Continue to pray at night. Continue to ask me to get those folks straight. Don't wish nothing on them. Just stay in your head. You know what you're thinking. You know what you know. I already know what I'm going to do. You can't outdo me. So all you can do is find peace within yourself and with the whole world. And stay like that. I got you. Don't worry. And you'll find yourself always healing. And it's not so much as physical, although it helps. How does she keep resetting? How come? So she was healed completely of the skin issue she had. And asking for love or goodwill, she had fulfilled the law. For love is a fulfilling of the law. God is love, for those that don't know. The Bible is the law. God is justice. And the disease, which is a dis-ease caused by sin, hatred, resentment. Again, I've met several people that hold grudges towards me and other women, men and women. They hate their mothers, they hate their sisters, they hate their siblings, they hate people in general. If they could burn a whole society up, they would, because they're harboring resentment, which is a sin. They're harboring hatred. They're wishing people very, very bad stuff. But remember, it just said you have to love yourself as others. Treat people how you want to be treated. That was a commandment God created. And people ignore it all the time. Now, if you don't love yourself, yeah, it's easy for you to do things to others. But the commandment said, a new commandment, I give unto you, love one another as I love you. People don't do that. So they find themselves looking run down, tired, exhausted, older than they should be. And no, we're not saying in general, there were good people out here that got very wrinkly skin. They don't look that young. But there's a certain energy about them that says they're a sweetheart. And they're not faking. And you know that authenticity. You know. Okay? Most of us can register good and bad. Because we don't have clogs in our system. Resentment and anger and preconceived bad ideas of others. Okay? So the disease which came from subconscious resentment was wiped out. Continual criticism produces rheumatism as critical and harmonious thoughts caused because of unnatural or causing unnatural deposits in the blood. So like now, the things that people keep doing to me, it causes me to sit here and want to be resentful and keep repeating it. And every time you hear me, I'm talking about the same thing and my kids hate that. But it's because it never stopped. It hasn't stopped yet. And I wanted to stop. And I'm not sitting in silence being burned and antagonized and physically harmed. I'm not. I'm talking up about it. And they want this to cause rheumatism, but it doesn't. So they've decided, oh, well, we want it to look like she's sick. We want it to make her look crazy. So we're going to keep doing stuff, but let's amp it up. Let's use some machines, military level crazy, that causes her knees to hurt. So it looks like arthritis. So when she goes to the doctor, they can just say, oh, that's rheumatism. You must be bitter and harmonious with your thoughts. Which causes unnatural, oh, it's a mental thing. Are you okay? You want to hurt somebody? See. Which settle in the joints. My joints are fine when I'm not being zapped by that gap jam machine. That's just the truth. False growths are caused by jealousy, hatred, unforgiveness, fear, etc. Now, yes, people want me to be fearful all the time. They're constantly doing things where I am to feel, you know, at some point, I'm a wanna meet you. So what that mean? So we're gonna finish this live. And we're gonna. So in other words, again, there are little kerfuffle agents out here that are completely dedicated to causing you fear and unease and problems that can show up as you being bitter, critical, um, sad. They wanted to break your skin out. They wanted to make you wrinkly. They wanted to make you sick. They wanted to make you have rheumatism, even become handicapped and give up or hurt yourself. But I want you to know that it's not you. And here's the thing. Take this with you, because I'm probably not going to finish this. I could, but I'm not. Let me just wrap it up. If you had a knowledge, somehow, God let you see that people were literally orchestrating you killing yourself or them hurting you and your children or something of that nature, would you do everything possible to stay here? Why would you feel like, oh, well, okay, God showed me this, and I guess I'll roll over and just let them have whatever they're after? Or would you say, oh, hell no, that's what they're doing? Okay, so let's do it. Let's do it then. Let's see how that work out. Because I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to fight with every fiber within myself for me and my family. Absolutely. And no, that doesn't mean physical. Again, when you get to the spiritual level, you understand that this war ain't physical. Although people are doing physical stuff because they're stupid. And then they call themselves using God to fight God. When they're saying they're using magic, this is God. God made everything. So how are you using God to work against God? Oh, we were no. Most people are doing underhanded things, like people breaking into my house where my kids were when they were teenagers, putting poison in the food. And I just learned that one of these hoes is a nurse. She works in nursing. So if she's at the hospital or she got some little tricks up there that she gives housing to in order to do things like give people's records to her so she can present it to lawyers and judges and doctors, being the devil, saying that this person's sick, this person's promiscuous when we're healthy. Saying that my kids have lupus and various things for your own greed and power. I don't even know you, bitch. Why would you do that? Do you want me to call your name? Keep effing around. I'm not scared of you. I'm not. So they're breaking into your house, talking to your drunk neighbors or your stupid, greedy, fat landlord that likes to disrespect you because he doesn't respect women. And they're talking reckless to you and they're doing crazy stuff. And you ain't never had a conversation with this old crazy ass lady. You ain't never had a conversation with her. And she all at the hospital. She's busybodying, got people in different places doing things they shouldn't be doing because she works with a mayor. And they got the same last name you got. And they're not even the culprits, really. Who's giving people all this power? Somebody from Ireland that don't like black people because he realized, calls himself a Democrat, right? He understands that people are so greedy, dirty, and stupid and mentally ill. He ain't even got to do massacres no more. He just unleashed the mentally ill black people and sit and watch the bloody massacres. People coming up missing. Reports going missing. People are silenced. They're crying out for help. Nothing within these cities. Oh, you dumb bitches didn't think you had bosses? You've been calling my boss. Getting me fired everywhere. Is that funny, bitch, at this age? So nobody's getting paid. And now you're mad because you don't know how you're going to eat. So now y'all want to attack the people that's eating. Oh, we're going to take SNAP away because we're going to make all these people homeless and all that. And now we ain't going to have it either. But they ain't going to have it either. Oh, insult to injury. Okay. Because all of y'all was living paycheck to paycheck, stealing other people's money too, weren't you? You ain't saved none of that. Just went on them trips, took them vacations, did all them little hunch cruises. Oh, let's not talk about them parties where y'all went and met with them wealthy folks. I like to have sex parties and y'all went all out with the little thousands of dollars of clothes so you look like you fit in. So you done spent most of the money. You bought real estate, but you're so selfish and childish. You was using other people to pay the bills. Other people's money. But you weren't even smart there. You didn't even pay that right, did you? You let all them notices come in. I don't need that, that's not mine. I don't need that, that's not mine. I don't need that, that's not mine, right? So you let all that go to the garbage. So you won't have anywhere to go. Aren't you smart? Now, there's some good men and women out here that ain't got nothing to do with this, but overall, a lot of people saw some ish and didn't say nothing. So should they all be fired? People knew. It's hard not to see. Were they all hired by the same person that everybody liked? I mean, this could be a whole group of people that was just hired by these friends and family. All the friends and family were hired by these people. All their family and friends. So this could be a whole government locally that are full of what? Dumb people. Governed by the mother folks. As long as they're kerfuffle agents, everybody gets paid. Somebody said, not on God's watch. Now, for those that are a bit confused, going, you taking sides in politics. Hey, Satan, calm down. I keep remembering the scripture that came to me yesterday when I was talking to one of my biggest adversaries for some reason. We look so much alike. It's amazing. Then God said he'll take your enemies and make me a footstool. So what do I mean by that? I don't think I have any enemies, but there are people out here that were ordained by God in this season to whip these little demons' tails. So he used your enemies as your footstool. And the other folks that are enemies were looking like, that don't make sense. She don't even vote. It's not political, pumpkin. It's personal. Y'all, go pray about it. Amen. All right, guys, I'll be back.